Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of MJ Everyday, another supplementation based episode for you guys today, the third and final installment in this series of episodes of MJ Everyday talking about amino acids and branch chain amino acids. Today's episode, I wanted to bust some BCAA myths. So take some myths that I'm seeing going around the industry, particularly at this point in time, and kind of expose them, bust them wide open, and kind of break them down for you guys, because I know it's very easy. Sometimes you see somebody post something on Instagram or do a video on YouTube, and you kind of get caught up in it, and sometimes you just need to kind of take a step back and go, hold on a second, what is this person actually saying, and what are their intentions? Why are they saying it? Do they have some sort of financial motive to say it? Are they incentivized to put this information out there? So I want to break it down for you guys, take three main myths or three kind of points of conversation about BCAAs that I'm seeing getting a lot of traction at the moment, and kind of break them down for you guys so that you can, make your own informed decision as to how you're consuming this content. So the first of the three is BCAAs versus EAAs. The second is Freeform BCAAs versus peptide-bound BCAAs. And the third is this BCAA meta-analysis study that came out last year, but is getting a lot of traction now. So first things first, BCAAs versus EAAs. Now you guys would know from the last couple of episodes of MJ Everyday that there are 9 essential amino acids, and the word essential means we have to consume them from a supplementary or a whole food source. Our body can't synthesize them, can't produce them itself, so we have to consume these essential amino acids. And you know that of the 9 essential amino acids, 3 of them are leucine, isoleucine, and valine, which are our branch chain amino acids. So the first thing that I'm seeing a lot of is people are saying things like, don't consume BCAAs, consume EAAs instead, which makes no sense because BCAAs are EAAs. So that's the first thing that I really kind of want to put out there, and I want you guys to reinforce with you guys, because we've been through it already, but I want you to really get that understanding, is that BCAAs are essential amino acids. So for somebody to say, you shouldn't consume BCAAs, you should just consume EAAs, makes no sense, because BCAAs are EAAs, if you guys know where I'm coming from. That's the first myth. The second one is Freeform BCAAs versus peptide bound. So there's a train of thought at the moment, there's conversation at the moment that goes something along the lines of, if you consume enough protein from your diet from whole food sources, you're going to get enough naturally occurring essential aminos and BCAAs as part of those essential aminos. So you're going to be consuming enough naturally occurring BCAAs through your diet that taking a BCAA supplement, a Freeform BCAA supplement, is a complete waste of time, waste of money, because you're already getting enough naturally occurring BCAAs from whole food sources in your diet. There is one really fundamental problem with this train of thought, guys, and that rests in peptide-bound amino acids versus free-form amino acids. Now, when you consume naturally occurring BCAAs and EAAs and all the other naturally occurring amino acids from a whole food source or from a protein powder source or anything that's not free-form, these amino acids are peptide bound, so they're bound together by protein peptides, which effectively means they need to be digested. They need to go through your gastrointestinal tract, they need to be digested, they pass through your liver, where they get oxidized and then sent into the bloodstream as free-form amino acids after that digestion process. With consuming free-form amino acids, so free-form BCAAs, free-form EAAs, free-form non-essential amino acids, they're not peptide bound. And what that means is they bypass the digestive tract. They go straight through your digestive tract, and they're oxidized, BCAAs in particular, are oxidized in skeletal muscle, which is where you want them oxidized, because that's where they can do things like increase muscle protein synthesis, protect muscle catabolism, muscle protein breakdown, and do all of the things that we've discussed in the past few episodes of MJ Everyday. So the big difference between Peptide-bound aminos and freeform aminos is where they're oxidized and where they're digested or lack of digestion. And the way they therefore act in the body is completely different. So you can't take peptide-bound BCAAs and replace freeform BCAAs with peptide-bound BCAAs because they act completely differently because they have to be digested. They're not oxidized in skeletal muscle. So that entire train of thought where if you're getting enough protein, if your protein intake is sufficient from whole food sources, supplementing with freeform aminos and freeform BCAAs is a complete waste of time, effort, and money is completely flawed. And anybody that kind of publicizes that, anybody that broadcasts that as a train of thought shows to me that they have a severe and significant misunderstanding of how freeform amino acids differ from peptide-bound amino acids. So that's really just a myth I can completely bust regarding aminos and regarding BCAAs. Freeform aminos completely different to peptide-bound aminos. No matter what dietary protein intake you have, if you have sufficient dietary protein intake or way above sufficient, you're still going to get benefit from supplementing with freeform BCAAs as opposed to peptide-bound BCAAs. The third and final thing that I want to address, myth that I want to bust regarding BCAAs, is this meta-analysis that came out. Actually came out in August last year, and I'm going to pop a link down below in the description box because I actually want you guys to go and check this out if you feel so inclined, if you're interested. And what a meta-analysis is, for those of you who are unaware, is a couple of people, scientists usually, get together, or it can be one person, and they go and they look at all the different studies that have been done on BCAAs in this instance, and they analyze all the studies at the same time and produce a meta-analysis that kind of gives a conclusion based on the conclusions of all these individual studies. So it's almost like a collective pulling of information from other scientific studies into one place, and then they give what we call a meta-analysis based on those conclusions of those individual scientific studies. So there was this meta-analysis that came out August last year, and just now it's starting to get traction, but it's been out for, 9 months now. And the meta-analysis effectively said that in the absence of essential amino acids, peptide-bound or non-peptide-bound, didn't specify, in the absence of essential amino acids, BCAAs do not increase muscle protein synthesis. That was the conclusion of the meta-analysis. You guys can go check that out for yourself. So effectively, the conclusion they came to was one of the benefits of BCAAs that we went through in previous episodes of MJ Every Day. One of the benefits is increasing muscle protein synthesis. And they said that benefit does not exist in the absence of essential amino acids. And a lot of people have been jumping on this on social media and going, there it is. That's proof that BCAAs do not exist. Throw your BCAA supplement out. It's all bullshit. What you've been told by the supplement companies is complete crap. They don't do anything. A couple of things I need to say regarding this meta-analysis, guys. The first thing is that muscle protein synthesis, the increase in muscle protein synthesis, is one of a whole number of benefits of BCAAs that we've been through in previous episodes of MJ Every Day. So they're just looking at one benefit. They're not looking at preventing muscle catabolism. They're not looking at increasing endurance through buffering serotonin. They're not looking at increasing glucose uptake. They're just looking at the increase in muscle protein synthesis. The second thing I want to say is when I first heard about this meta-analysis through social media, I was like, oh, wow, that's interesting. Then I went and read the study, and my reaction to the study was this. Duh. Like, no shit. Effectively, what the study's saying is that if you don't consume protein and therefore essential amino acids, which we know because we've been through, are amino acids that you have to consume because your body can't synthesize them. So if you're not consuming the amino acids, the proteins that you have to consume from a whole food or a supplementary source, BCAAs are not going to increase muscle protein synthesis. That's a ridiculous conclusion, because if you don't consume what you have to consume from a protein perspective, there's no protein to increase muscle protein synthesis with. It's like trying to build a house. The analogy I gave you guys of a house a few episodes ago, it's like trying to build a house with no bricks. It's impossible. It's a ridiculous. It's such a ridiculous conclusion that I kind of question why they bothered doing the meta-analysis. Could they really not find anything else to conclude the meta-analysis on, that they went for this conclusion where if you don't consume the proteins that you need to consume, the essential aminos that you need to consume because your body can't get them from anywhere else, BCAAs are ineffective in increasing muscle protein synthesis in the absence of protein? I mean, it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. So when I see this floating around social media, once again, people who are broadcasting this really indicate to me that they either haven't read the study or they don't understand what essential means in the word essential amino acids, or they're just trying to bash BCAAs for the sake of bashing BCAAs, or they're financially motivated to convince you that you need to supplement with Freeform essential amino acids in conjunction with BCAAs because they're sponsored by a company or they own a company that produces a BCAA plus EAA supplement, and they're therefore financially incentivized to ram this study down your throat. But effectively, this study means completely nothing because everyone who's using BCAAs knows about the importance of protein in our diet. We know about the importance of essential amino acids. And if you didn't know, now you know because you've been watching MJ every day. And therefore, it's just the conclusion is just, I don't really know how else to explain it other than ridiculous. I want to finish this episode off, guys, before I get super passionate about stupid scientific studies that really indicate nothing, that people jump on for whatever their reasons for jumping on them are. I want to finish off by saying when it comes to BCAAs, you know, you can sit here, you can watch my episodes of MJ every day, you can read all the stuff that gets put out there. At the end of the day, the best way is if you haven't utilized them before in your supplementation regime, try them. You will feel the effects of BCAAs from your very first workout. You will get better muscular endurance, reduced perception of stress. You will not feel as sore as you normally do after your workouts, the reduced delayed onset muscle soreness. Just try them. Give them a shot. If you're on the fence about it, give them a shot, and then you can make up your own mind on whether you think that the effects you're getting from them justify the expense put into buying a BCAA supplement. On the other side of the fence, if you use them religiously and you're still on the fence about them because you're like, I'm not really too sure if they're doing much for me, stop using them for a week and see how much your delayed onset muscle soreness increases. See how much your muscular endurance decreases and your perception of stress decreases during your workout. See how much your muscle recovery decreases when you take them out of your supplementation regime. I always say this to people: if you've been taking a sup for a long time and you're not 100% sure if it's really beneficial to you and you're spending all this money on it month after month after month, stop taking it. Take it out of your regime and see if you notice the increase in negative effects that you don't want, and that is the best way to determine whether or not a particular supplement is working well for you guys. The final thing I'm going to say, because I know I'm going to get a lot of questions, and I apologize this episode's dragged on, guys, but when I find something I'm passionate about, I just grab onto it and I squeeze all the juice out of it as much as I can. The final thing I'm going to say is, I know a bunch of you are going to ask me what my personal favorite supplements are when it comes to aminos, when it comes to BCAAs, and I've covered this a lot in my socials in the past, but I thought I'd just put it here to finish this series of MJ Everyday episodes on amino acids. For during the day, so with meals, between meals, to increase muscle protein synthesis and improve recovery during the day, I use Core ABC as my amino acid supplement of choice. It just won for the very first time the 2018 Australian Supplement of the Year award. So it beat every other supplement from all other categories as the #1 supplement of the year as voted by Australian consumers. So really good, backing for Core ABC as the quality of supplement. supplement, but that's my during the day amino acid supplement to increase muscle protein synthesis and muscle recovery. Intra workout, I use MTS Machine Fuel. That's my during workout BCAA supplement. I prefer that one during workout because it's got some hydration ingredients in there that will help keep me hydrated as I'm sweating in the gym. It's got an ingredient in there, agmatine sulfate, that helps with nutrient delivery and muscle pump, and it's got some taurine in there to assist even more with muscular endurance. So for me, core ABC during the day, MTS Machine Fuel during workouts. That's how I get down with my amino acid and BCAA supplement. And guys, that's a wrap for today's episode of MJ Every Day. As always, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn your post notifications on both on your mobile, your cell phone, and your desktop PC so you don't miss a beat when it comes to the Massive Joes YouTube channel. Until tomorrow, I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com.